Hopefully you can hear me over the noise of the engine. This thing's been sitting for a few days, so I just figured I'd let it run a little bit. And I'd take the opportunity to talk about my line locks that I installed on my other car. I'm using this car as a reference because it's a similar layout, but there's more visibility. So that's the ABS module right here. That's the brake master cylinder reservoir, and obviously the brake master cylinder right underneath it. The line lock is usually meant to be installed on a system where the front and the rear wheels are controlled by the same port of the master cylinder. What that means is that you install the line lock on one line, and then that line eventually splits and goes to the front wheels, so that once the line lock is engaged, it locks the front or the rear wheels, whichever ones you have set up to be locked. On this system, it's a diagonally split system, which means that the front left wheel and the front right wheel are not working off of the same master cylinder port or piston. There are two pistons in the master cylinder that supply brake pressure to the system. On a diagonally split, the front left and the right rear, the right front and the left rear are working in pairs. And what that means is that when one portion of the master cylinder fails, let's say the rear piston collapses and no longer provides pressure, because those pistons provide pressure to one wheel on the front and one wheel on the back, if one half of the master cylinder is not working, you still have brake application on one of the front wheels and one of the rear wheels. On this one, I don't know what the split is. Well, I guess I can take a closer look at the lines, because the ABS module does have markings, left front, right rear, left rear, right front, etc. I'll show you that in a second. But long story short, because one line from the master cylinder does not control both front or both rear, I was not able to use the line lock on my vehicle in its normal intended fashion. And that's why I ended up installing two line locks, one underneath each wheel well, which I think you saw in the prior video, or if not, then in a future other video or in a different video. So yeah, basically I tapped in after the ABS module. ABS still functions as it should, and when I turn the line locks on, I have not gotten as far as, I haven't finished all the wiring, but once I do, I'll have a toggle switch inside the dash. I'll press the brakes, I'll flick the toggle switch, that'll energize both line locks, and it'll lock the front brakes, leaving the rears to spin freely. So yeah, this is the ABS module, and I'll show you again in closer detail, but with the engine noise, I'm bringing the phone up so you can hear me better. I've got the front left and the right rear, and then I've got the front right and the left rear, and underneath you can see the two lines from the brake master cylinder coming in. So one line feeds the left rear and the left front, and one line feeds the right front and the right rear. You can see the two lines at the bottom. Sorry, kind of hard to see. Maybe I'll take a picture later and then I'll impose that or embed it in the video as well. So that's what I had to do with my line lock system. This is the line lock on the driver's side, so driver wheel. Oops. Sorry, fumbly fingers. I tried to keep the stock line intact. That way, if the line lock doesn't work out, all I have to do is rotate this fitting and attach it again to the stock hose. Same thing on the other side. So here's the passenger side. What I had to do here, the stock fitting, this piece, I was able to bend it to make it fit into here, but it kept leaking even though the fitting was tight. So I made a small extension here. I know it's not pretty, and I adapted it here. And the same reason with the adapter, I don't want to cut this line, because in the future, if I want to get rid of the line locks, all I need to do is bend this line back to the stock fitting. And the wheel does not seem to be making contact. It comes right up in here. So this is all out of the way. It looks like it's sticking out far, but I've got 18-inch wheels, so they come up in this area here. And obviously with the suspension sitting higher, or once the vehicle is sitting, the suspension will go lower, the wheel will be higher. I've got lots of room.